Well, polling is underway for 288 assembly seats in Maharashtra and 90 assembly seats in Haryana. As we just said, it's a high-stakes battle between the BJP, the Congress and the INLD in Haryana. And in Maharashtra, a five-cornered contest between the BJP, the Congress, the NCP, the Shiv Sena and the Maharashtra and Haryana in Maharashtra. 10 crore people are expected to vote for these assembly seats in Maharashtra. Now, as we said, these alliances between the NCP and the Congress and the BJP and the Shiv Sena fell apart just before the polls over the critical issue of seat sharing. In the meanwhile, Raj Thakrae's Maharashtra and Haryana is also trying to make its presence felt in these elections. The chief ministerial candidates haven't been formally announced, but we believe front runners for the post from the BJP are the state chief Devendra Fadnavis and the senior leader Eknath Khadse. The BJP is hoping that the Prime Minister's popularity and the wave of the Lok Sabha elections will also work at the state level. He's the chief campaigner, has been the star campaigner for the BJP in both states. Many people are seeing these elections as a referendum on the Prime Minister. In Haryana, meanwhile, the Bhupinder Singh Hooda government, which is seeking a third term in power, is also facing a challenge from Om Prakash Chauthala's Indian National Lok Dal. Remember, Om Prakash Chauthala was also rapped on the knuckles by the courts for campaigning while out on bail on medical grounds. Corruption scandals are paramount in both states, as voters are also taking the corruption issue seriously to the polls. Now, it remains to be seen how they will vote. Will turnouts actually make a difference? We'll know all that in the course of the evening. My colleague Radhika Iyer now joins us for more from Pune. Radhika, we spoke earlier as well about the critical issue of corruption. Now, many people are saying that in Maharashtra particularly, personalities, in a manner of speaking, have overtaken some of the core issues. Is that something playing out in Pune's districts where you are?
Okay.
Well, it seems they are voting for performance over personalities, at least from what I understand from what the voters have been telling us, that the issues are what they're voting for, what they need from their new MLA. Madam, आपके नए MLA से क्या चाहते हैं?
ट्रांसपोर्ट का प्रॉब्लम है, वो चाहिए.
Public transport better. Public transport
अच्छा होना चाहिए.
Okay. How many of you managed to vote for the Lok Sabha elections? How many of you?
Manage means what sense?
Many of your cards were missing?
We don't have the
No. My card is missing.
Your card was missing?
Yeah.
My card was missing.
आपका भी नहीं था. तो उसके बाद एक कैंपेन चला था, डोर टू डोर कैंपेन, उसमें सभी का आ गया है कार्ड? एवरीबडी
नहीं आया नहीं, अभी लिया है हमने यहाँ पे.
अभी आके लिया.
हाँ.
अच्छा, तो
हमने जाके कर दिया सब. डोर टू डोर पर कोई आया नहीं. कोई आया नहीं.
But now have all of you managed to get your voter ID cards?
Yes.
What is it that you're keeping in mind, sir? What do you want to vote for? जब आप वोट कर रहे हैं तो कौन से ऐसे मुद्दे हैं जिस पे आप?
I told you just now.
Yes.
Corruption is number one. Roads, traffic, all these things have to be controlled.
You want to reject corruption completely?
Yeah.
Well, the simple thing is we want to satisfy the basic needs like electricity, water, the garbage, these kinds of problems. So that's all. Corruption, of course, is the issue, but above corruption is the basic necessities which people want to get satisfied. Yeah.
And probably even corruption does. So you were mentioning to me that women should be given more power.
Yeah, definitely.
And how can that be done?
Yeah. With this voting and all these things, they must get a chance. Our MLA must be the women's, and then definitely they will just clear everything.
Okay.
They will give us a good governance.
Percentage of women contesting in this election itself in Maharashtra is about 24%. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. The ladies' percentage about a candidature is very low. Okay,
Very low, yes.
Very low. It should be as equal. Okay, so there should be more awareness among women, ladies. Okay, educated ladies, or those ladies who can be able to have some kind of a impact on the society. They should come forward. It is also a duty of the governance.
Sure. So many others, in fact, we spoke to Mr. Amol Palekar, a prominent citizen, who said that from the selection process to the rejection or possibly recall an MLA itself, let the voter be given more chance.
हम सब स्टिक करेंगे
क्या चाहिए आपको?
ट्रांसपोर्ट हम करेंगे हमारे हाथ में दीजिए हम सब महिला मिलके करेंगे
अच्छा, यहाँ पर जो पुणे म्यूनिसिपल ट्रांसपोर्ट
हाँ,
है
ये
उसको
हमारे
अपडेट
हाथ में
करना
दो।
है।
ब्रेक करना है और नया करना है सब
अच्छा, नया
मिनी बसेस घुमाना है बस बसेस क्लीन नहीं है
Okay. So issues essentially talking of cleanliness, garbage she says is a huge mess in Pune city. Let the public transport be better. Somebody says women empowerment. Somebody says we can make good leaders. If not,
We are there to help her, no? I'm an engineer basically.
Okay.
I know what the buses are, how they are to be maintained. We'll definitely help them. Let the group come forward. Why not?
Yeah, the women want to really update, also upgrade, maintain possibly the public transport system. But several people we've been talking to in Pune city say that the public transport is not reliable, not updated. The frequency is bad. This also being an education hub where students, Oxford of the East it's called, the students who often use public transport are put to a lot of hurdles. So they say that these are the issues really that they are looking at: performance over a party or a personality, and possibly a level of efficiency when it comes to governance. And like this gentleman said, corruption is something that they surely want to reject at this stage, no matter which party they would be voting for.
Right, Radhika, thanks very much. In fact, we're hoping also that Mumbai's voters will come out and cast their vote. Prominent voters, Abhishek Bachchan, in fact, has also just cast his vote. Celebrities like Rekha have also cast their vote. Let's listen in to Abhishek Bachchan. Right, we'll get that played out for you in just a couple of minutes. With Ketki Angre now joining us from Mumbai as well. Ketki, we asked Radhika about this issue of personalities over core issues. Radhika seems to think that Pune's voters, especially at least, are focusing on the issue of development, local issues, transport, water supply, etc. that they've been talking about to her. What's the story where you are?
Well, Mumbai always complains that it contributes so much and contributes immensely to the national income, as it were, but gets precious little in return. So as a Mumbaikar, this election, what are the issues for you? Is it parties, performance, individuals, or just, you're here out to vote and that's all you are really bothered about?
No, it's not, that's not the truth. What we have felt in last 40 years I've been staying in Mumbai, we have also always contributed lots to the development of the city, but we have got nothing back from this government. And as a childhood, we used to always think that Congress is one government which should always perform for its citizens. But I doubt in Mumbai anything Congress has done, and has let us down very badly. You look at the infrastructures all around Mumbai; they are bursting at the seam. You ask any individual, is he satisfied? You look at
so your vote, you're saying, is on the basis of issues and not so much personalities.
No. You should never be voting on personality. You should always vote on issues. If you find a particular party not performing for the core poor people, then how do you expect it to perform on higher levels when you talk internationally? I don't think this government has done anything. Look at the amount of scams they have done. Gone through and through their regime. Look at the other
corruption
scam.
is also an important
issue. You look at other scam. You look at the National Spot Exchange scam. You look at the irrigation scam. You name the scams, and in Maharashtra the scams have been taken place, and there is no appropriate action taken on any of the scamsters till date.
And one problem also with Mumbai typically has been a poor voter turnout. In spite of all the problems, all the infrastructure issues you're talking about, Mumbai in the past, although there has been an increase in voting percentage, it's not really been up to the mark as compared to the common, average of Maharashtra. Sir.
Yeah, I appreciate, because in Mumbai that Chalta Hai approach was still there, but I think the change is coming and it will come, and I think the results will show.
All right, Mumbaikar, hopeful that the results will show a change in the attitude of Mumbaikars as well, because although there has been a steady increase in voting percentage over the last election to this election, in 2009, the Lok Sabha election to 2014 Lok Sabha election, there was a 10% jump. The 2009 assembly elections also, the voting percentage was higher than the Lok Sabha turnout of 2009. So certainly there is hope that Mumbaikars this time around will really walk the talk, because they're saying they want change on the ground, but that change will also come when they participate. Maya?
Right, Ketki, very critical point, that change also indeed coming when they participate. Now, Saurabh Gupta, we've seen the various political parties sort of split and part ways before the campaign. How has that impacted voters this time?
Well, in this split, one thing that has happened is that all the political parties have been really pushing their cadre and their supporters to go out and vote, because in such a scenario where every party is contesting on its own, every vote counts, every supporter's vote at the polling center will go a long way in actually getting them the figures they want in the Legislative Assembly. So parties by themselves have been pushing their supporters to go out and vote. But I'm at Activity High School, which is one of the polling centers at South Mumbai, the business hub of the country. Here we are expecting voters like Raghuram Rajan, Milindera, and of course Deepak Parekh, all of them to come in and vote. But I must tell you that this time around, the crowd seems to be much thinner than what we saw during the Lok Sabha elections. However, one must maintain that it's still early in the day, and it's not long enough to actually say whether the turnout will be good or bad. There was a great improvement in the Lok Sabha elections as far as the turnout is concerned, but whether we'll continue to see that trend or not is something that we'll only have to wait and watch till the end of the day. Here it seems that people are trickling in, but yes, not as much, or not the density of voters coming in here is not as much as what we saw during the Lok Sabha elections. And also, of course, the politics in a five-cornered contest. Everybody has been trying to make the most of the time, even till the last moment. This morning too, lots of advertisements and lots of newspapers, all of them attacking each other. Interesting slogans in the morning papers as well, appealing to voters to actually vote for them. All political parties, going out there asking voters to come in, support them. But clearly, the point is, will Mumbai come out and vote? That is a question that we'll be only able to answer post 5 p.m. when voting ends. And whether Mumbai will live up to the trend of actually increasing the voting percentage like we saw in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections just a few months back, that's also something that only we'll know by this evening.
Right, Saurabh, also critically in Maharashtra, we're looking at the number of candidates who are contesting. There's several of them, in fact, who have corruption cases against them. How does that taint of corruption, how do you think it's going to play out in this election across party lines?
Well, corruption has been an issue in this election, and that's been the campaign point of many parties. Also, let's not forget yesterday the former Maharashtra Chief Minister Prithviraj Savan's interview. That, of course, making headlines through the day. But all of that said and done, at the moment, every party wants to say that it's going to give a clean government. Now, for example, if I take, all the parties actually, without naming any of them actually, all the parties are saying that there has to be a clean government, that we'll provide a clean government. And the people we've been voting to also saying that yes, corruption is the number one issue. And in Maharashtra, especially in Mumbai, which has 36 seats of the 288 seats, for example, Mumbai has seen a lot of corruption in a lot of areas, and all of that needs to be addressed. And everyone's hoping that when it comes to casting their votes, the public will hold the politicians accountable for any kind of corruption, and that's the way the vote's going to be. You speak to anyone who's come to vote here, and they'll tell you that, well, corruption is on top of our mind when we're going in to vote, and we'll vote for whoever, irrespective of the candidate party, provides us a corruption-free atmosphere, or at least gives us a sense that they're going to do something to fight corruption. They're going to vote for that. And of course, the parties too, in all the campaign, we've seen every major campaigner from each and every party talking about corruption, whether they've been in government in the last 15 years or whether they've been in opposition. Right,
Saurabh, thanks for that. Radhika Iyer is still in Pune with us. Radhika, now we are talking about corruption. We're referring to the interview that Prithviraj Savan gave to the Telegraph, where he said he couldn't save his government in spite of all these corruption scandals. In a sense, indications of the kind of divisions within the party as well in the run-up to the polls. Now, in Pune and in the districts around, as far as the key candidates are concerned, the Chief Minister also not far from Pune city in Karad. Now, tell us how he is campaigning, how he is spending his morning. Any word from him this morning at all?
Do the selection and all that, no?
Well, an indication clearly from Mr. Prithviraj Savan that he could have perhaps taken action. He also knows that the contest that he is going to fight today, when people come out and vote, is not going to be easy, because he's entering the electoral battle after 1999. All through in the last more than a decade or so, he's been a member of the Rajya Sabha. But now he is fighting some Congress rebels in Karad itself, which of course is from Western Maharashtra. Again, a region which is extremely politically significant. And if I may give you an idea of Pune city itself, there are about 8 assembly seats out of the 288 in Maharashtra. Out of the 8 seats in 2009, during the Maharashtra elections, the state elections, 2 seats went to the Congress, 2 to the BJP, 2 to Shiv Sena, 1 to NCP and 1 to the MNS. So that's clearly how the vote splits here, and here it is not a case of polarization where there is one particular stronghold. Baramati again, if we may talk about, which again is in western Karnataka, known as the sugar belt, really was the stronghold of the NCP, from where the Pawars were fighting. If the BJP and the Shiv Sena manage to make inroads in those areas, then that really will be seen as a loss of face for the persons who are having high stakes involved in this election. The Pawars, as well as, of course, the Congress, senior Congress leaders like Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, the former Chief Minister. Sir, if I may ask you, इस बार जो है अलायंसेस, पिछले काफी सालों से अलायंसेस की तरह इस बार काफी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज ने they've decided to go it alone. Is that a matter of concern for you, or do you think it's actually advantage for a voter because you will know?
It's a matter of concern,
okay,
because so many parties are there, so alignment has to be there.
Okay. So are you saying that there is a possibility of instability perhaps?
Could be, but now people know what exactly is to be done.
Okay.
They know much better now.
They know what needs to be
done.
Yeah,
they will teach a lesson to the these other parties,
okay,
who are not in line.
Okay, so you're saying there are options. There is a level of optimism among voters who believe that Pune city, Maharashtra, in a sense, the larger angle, of course, is that corruption, which it has been tainted by different political parties, perhaps some level of optimism. I spoke with Mr. Amol Palekar, celebrated theatre personality, film actor, and a prominent citizen in Pune. He says some things that he says are very interesting. That the voter, of course, comes out and casts a vote, must use the power to cast their vote. But then should the role of the voter and the citizen stop there? Can there be a role they can play in the selection process, and also possibly a role where they can recall their MLA if he or she does not perform? Listen in. From a 54% voter turnout during the Lok Sabha election this year, will the turnout in Pune city be better this time around, this assembly election? I have with me Mr. Amol Palekar, a prominent citizen, of course. What are the issues that you have kept in mind? What do you want from your new MLAs?
Actually, rather than going into issues, I am getting more and more concerned about the whole process of election and the choices that are being offered. Also of what, as a citizen, am I really participating in the whole process? Do I have the right to express my dissatisfaction after the election is over? If the elected person doesn't perform, what is it that I can do? What is it that they are offering? The whole scenario. I am getting more and more concerned about that, and so to say, the entire democratic process.
Sure.
So that is what I am concerned with.
It's very interesting you point that out, and if I may bring in Ms. Sandhya Gokhale as well here. You moved court, the two of you moved court, not just for yourselves, but for more than 1 lakh or nearly 2 lakh odd voters whose names went missing from the voter list during the Lok Sabha election. But you're saying that voters, the job not just stops after you cast your vote in the ballot box, but also after that, some level of performance assessment, and you've moved court on that issue.
Sure. Our main grievance, actually, I mean, we did ask for a temporary relief, saying that we should have a supplementary elections for those people who were deprived of their right to vote. But we were aware of the fact that considering just 4 days in advance for the main election results, we will not be granted any interim relief. But we succeeded in getting the petition admitted on the main issue, which is a constitutional issue, and which is that ECI is beyond any jurisdiction, either civil or criminal jurisdiction of any court in India, which needs to be changed and which needs to be reworked at. Because in the constitution, when it was drafted, the situation was different. Now political process has changed enormously, and with the new changing environment and the political awareness among people, I think, and also the increasing corruption.
Yes.
We need to relook at that, and that was our main point and main focus. And the matter will be heard in 2 weeks in High Court as a final hearing matter.
Yes, that of course will come up in 2 weeks' time. Very briefly, sir, are you saying that if this petition goes well and in your favor, are you saying that voters should have a say post-election period during the time of governance?
Yes, but not only that. I am also, as we move the court, I think all of us are also concerned with the kind of enormous powers that Election Commission has on one hand, and on the other hand, one sees it very openly that it's ineffective. The kind of money that is being poured in through campaigns and advertisements, front page of English daily news for 10 days. We all know how much it costs. And where is the funding coming from? And is it legitimate funding? What does Election Commission do about it? All these issues, I think, are of a great concern.
Should be debated. And
yes.
Right, Radhika Iyer speaking to Amol Palekar on the elections as well in Maharashtra. Let's go turn our attention now to the polls in Haryana. 90 assembly seats in Haryana going to the polls. Bhupinder Singh Hooda seeking a third term for his government. These two states both have Congress governments that are being challenged at the polls today. My colleague Siddharth Pandey sends us this report from Gurgaon.
Well, Millennium City is also voting with the rest of Haryana as well. It's a Millennium City in Gurgaon, but the fact is that many citizens would argue that this city does not really have the basic infrastructure to be called just that. Joining me are some of the people who've just voted. What are some of the things that were important to you in this election?
See, what was important for me is what I would consider as local issues, because this is an assembly election and we are looking at local issues. So though national perspective is important, but my focus is local issues, and in that, and Gurgaon, we all aware, it's a great city, but it's got very, I would say, bad infrastructure. Roads, we're looking at power, we're looking at security, we're looking at water, greenery. So these are big issues which should be available. I mean, which I think we should be a part of a great city that Gurgaon is.
Okay. And what about you? What are some of the issues important to you?
What is important to me is a cleaner and a greener Gurgaon, because I want my children to grow up in a very nice, clean environment. I want them to breathe fresh air, and I think we all need to get together to bring about this change. Over here, not only the green cover needs to be increased, but what is already there needs to be preserved. I think there is basic apathy towards doing that. It's very easy to go and plant trees, but people don't look after it. Once it is done, once the ribbon is cut, then they're forgotten.
One very quick point, there's also voters' apathy. This particular booth in New Gurgaon, last time the turnout was around 30%. So do people need to really come out and vote, because you get the government that you elect at the end of the day?
And that is true. That is true. If you want change, then everybody has to hold hands and come out and do something for that change. And I think the best thing is to come out and vote, because every vote counts, every bit counts.
And are your friends and all voting who hadn't voted last time, or have people gone on a nice extended long vacation?
No, people are voting this time. People are voting. I think there is there's new energy these days, and people want to see that change. So people are voting.
Thank you so much. Well, new energy is what these voters are talking about. Of course, remains to be seen if people do come out and vote. Let me also just ask another person. आप भी यहाँ वोट डालने आए हैं. ये बताएं क्या-क्या मुद्दे यहाँ पर इम्पोर्टेंट हैं. आपके दिमाग में क्या-क्या मुद्दे रहेंगे? गुड़गांव में सुरक्षा है, पावर है, क्या क्या आप दिमाग में रखेंगे वोट डालते हुए?
इस टाइम मैं कुछ नहीं बोल सकता.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there. It's a secret ballot at the end of the day. But you can just see that the election officials out here and helping people to come out and vote. And Millennium City, as I said, one of the big revenue generators for the state of Haryana, but it's also a city which has a crumbling infrastructure that perhaps needs to change. All the political parties are talking about it. It now just remains to be seen, of course, what happens. And of course, voting, as I said, has started in the morning. We'll just have to wait and see what the final turnout is. And of course, we'll have to wait till the 19th to see who comes in as the next government in the state.